We all love to see our beloved comic book characters come to life, and in the last couple of years, our prayers have been answered. With box office hits coming in each year, you can now see how strong the Hulk is in live action, fighting off robots from outer space, and Iron Man showing off his suit capabilities and playboy lifestyle. Also, Captain America attempting to get everyone to speak politely and behave up to his standards. It's all a part of the cinematic universe we've all grown to love. Welcome to the third and final episode of this series, where you will see how the Marvel movies based on Stan Lee's most popular characters came to life. The first Marvel movie came out in the year 2000, when the first X-Men film hit theaters on July 12th. It received massive positive reviews from critics, kids, adults, fans, non-fans. Basically, everyone around the world loved it. With a budget of $75 million and making $296.3 million at the box office, it can be said that the Marvel movies were off to a very good start. Marvel would go on to make sequels to the franchise, like X2 in 2003, X-Men: The Last Stand in 2006, X-Men Origins Wolverine in 2009, The Wolverine in 2013, X-Men Days of Future Past in 2014, and X-Men Apocalypse, just to mention a few, earning billions of dollars in the box office. While the X-Men franchise was gaining attention, Marvel had partnered with Columbia Pictures and Sony Studios to make Spider-Man movies. Director Sam Raimi and writer David Koepp brought a new perspective to the character. They got Laura Siskin and Ian Bryce on board as producers for the project, and the film became an immediate hit. Spider-Man captured the imaginations of both younger and older audiences across the world. It became the first film to pass the $100 million mark in a single week of its release. With a budget of $139 million, the film made $821.7 million at the box office. Empire magazine ranked Spider-Man 437 in its 500 greatest movies of all time. Spider-Man 2 and 3 were made in 2004 and 2007 respectively, with a combined budget of $597 million and grossed over $2 billion. The later remakes of Amazing Spider-Man in 2012 and 2014 had a combined budget estimated to be $523 million and grossing over nearly $1.5 billion. Then came The Hulk, the Mad Green Giant. Development started in 1990, but it wouldn't be released until June 20th, 2003. It was produced by Avi Arad, Larry Franco, Gail Ann Hurd, and James Schamus, with Ang Lee in the director's chair. The script was written by James Schamus, Michael France, and John Turman at different times. It had a budget of $137 million and grossed $245.4 million. Then Iron Man was released in 2008. This was a game-changer for Marvel Studios, starting a decade-long storytelling across multiple movies. Iron Man was released on April 1st in Sydney and May 2nd in the United States. It was directed by Jon Favreau and written by Mark Fergus, Hawk Ostby, Art Markham, and Matt Holloway, and produced by Avi Arad and Kevin Feige. Stan Lee co-wrote the story for Fox, and it was later adapted into a screenplay. Fox sold the rights to New Line Cinema, reason being that a lot of Marvel superhero movies were in development and they couldn't make them all. The film was set to release in 2006, but due to unsuccessful development, New Line Cinema returned the film rights back to Marvel Studio, so Marvel had to start from scratch. At this point, there was no clear future for the project because lots of writers were not ready to work on the script. So Marvel came up with a plan to make 3 animated short films on Iron Man, called Iron Man Advertorials, with the aim to raise awareness about the character before the final film was released. In its opening week, Iron Man grossed $98.6 million in the United States and Canada, ranking first at the box office and the 11th biggest opening weekend of all time. 2 sequels followed in 2010 and 2013, with a combined budget estimated to be $540 million and earning over $2 billion at the box. Thor's first movie came in 2011. The original idea was envisioned by director Sam Raimi after he made Darkman in 1990, so he met Stan Lee and pitched the concept to 20th Century Fox, but that didn't go well. This led to Thor being abandoned until April 1997. when Marvel Studios was beginning to expand rapidly. And after the success of the X-Men movie in 2000, Thor went back into development. They brought in Artisan Entertainment to help finance the film, but as of June 2004, the film failed to gain momentum. Then in December 2004, Sony Pictures Entertainment purchased the film rights, bringing David S. Goyer to write and direct it. But Goyer lost interest along the way, and the film soon moved to Paramount Pictures, as it had acquired the rights from Sony. The film was set to release on June 4, 2010, with Iron Man 2 being used to introduce the character Thor. So Kenneth Branagh became the director in 2008, pushing the project forward to 2011. The script was written by Eric Pearson, Craig Kyle, and Christopher L. Yost, and it was produced by Kevin Feige. 2 sequels have been released since: Thor: The Dark World in 2013, directed by Alan Taylor, and Thor: Ragnarok, directed by Taika Waititi, with a combined budget estimated to be $602 million and grossing nearly $2 billion at the box office. Captain America has always been on the big screen, but his new take in the 2011 Captain America: The First Avenger gave the character a whole new look. Development started in April 1997, but a lawsuit against Marvel in 2000 from Joe Simon, the co-creator of the character, over the ownership of the character stalled the process. The lawsuit was later settled in September 2003. But in 2007 and 2008, the project was put on hold due to the Writers Guild of America going on strike. And in 2008, after the success of the first Iron Man movie, Marvel announced Captain America to be released on May 6, 2011, before pushing it back to July 22nd, which was the day the film hit theaters. It was directed by Joe Johnston and written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, and also produced by, you guessed it, Kevin Feige. 2 sequels followed: Captain America: The Winter Soldier in 2014 and Captain America: Civil War, both directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. They have a combined budget estimated to be $643.7 million and also grossed over $2 billion. Earth's mightiest heroes assembled in 2012 to face off an alien invasion. The idea for the film began in 2003 when Avi Arad, the CEO of Marvel Studios, first announced plans to develop the film in April 2005. Marvel had already planned ahead to make individual films of the main characters, to establish their identities and familiarize audiences with them before merging the characters together in a crossover film. After the success of Iron Man in 2008, the company set July 2011 as the release date for The Avengers, but later pushed the film's release back to May 4, 2012. Joss Whedon wrote and directed the film with Kevin Feige producing. Its sequels were Avengers: Age of Ultron in 2015, Avengers: Infinity War in 2018, and Avengers: Endgame in 2019. The films had a combined budget estimated to be nearly $1.5 billion, and their combined box office gross was over $7 billion worldwide. Doctor Strange was initially listed as being in development at New World Pictures, with a script dated 1986 by Bob Gale. But for some unknown reason, Gale's film never went into production. So in 1989, Stan Lee and Alex Koz wrote a script for Doctor Strange, but complications also made it impossible for that to reach production. Fast forward to 2013, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige confirmed that Doctor Strange would appear in some capacity as part of the Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but added on that Doctor Strange's feature film was in development at Marvel Studios, directed by Scott Derrickson and written by Jon Spaihts and C. Robert Cargill. It was produced by Kevin Feige. The film was released on October 13, 2016, with a budget of $154 million and grossed $677.7 million. Marvel had been working to add Spider-Man to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as early as October 2014, when they announced their slate of Phase 3 films. The early stages had John Watts, the director, to create images with Nick Fury as Parker's mentor in the story, focusing mainly on the school aspects of the character rather than the drama and weight of the tragedy that leads to the origin of Spider-Man. They felt this would differentiate him from the other MCU superheroes as well. It was written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers and produced by Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal. Spider-Man: Homecoming was released in July 2017 and its sequel in June 2019. They have a combined budget of $335 million and grossed over $2 billion. In 1992, Wesley Snipes announced his intention to make a film about Black Panther and began working on it. He felt that Africa had been portrayed poorly in Hollywood films, and he wanted to change that. He didn't get the chance to make that movie, and in February 2007, Kevin Feige announced that a Black Panther movie was in development, but it wasn't until October 2013 before Wakanda was introduced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film was released on January 29, 2018, with a budget of $200 million, and it grossed $1.347 billion at the box office. But the co-creator of these iconic characters' health was declining, so in 2012, he underwent an operation to insert a pacemaker. And on July 6, 2017, he lost his wife of 69 years, Joan. The next year, on November 12, 2018, 6 weeks before his 96th birthday, Stan Lee passed away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California, after having been rushed there earlier in the day on a medical emergency. Stan Lee's death left a legacy that will forever be in our hearts. The Marvel Universe has indeed changed cinema in so many ways, and it's all thanks to the creations of the most important pioneer in comic books history, Stan Lee. We have all been moved by his movies. They've inspired us, they've made us laugh, and even made us cry. But above all, they've all made us dream. And that's the biggest power any of us could have. Thank you, Stan Lee.
Thank you, Father.